Shalom, shalom. This is Shalom from the Great Millstone Atlanta Camp. Before I get started with this lesson, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashim Yahweh Shai, Bahashim Rakakawadash. Double honor to my elders and apostles of Great Millstone that teach and rule well. Peace, love, and safety to the hopeful elect scattered throughout the four corners of the earth, who are today mainly you Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, and also the Israelite foreigners that like the other nations, but you are joined to us because your bloodline goes back to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. To you all, I say shalom. And just want to go into salvation and seeing the reward of the wicked. So as the scriptures say, when judgment comes, it also is salvation. As a matter of fact, let's start with Matthew 24. Matthew 24 and verse 30, it says, "And then shall appear the sign of the Son of Man in heaven, and then shall all the tribes of the earth mourn." So yeah, when Yahweh shall return, who the world calls Jesus Christ, everybody's going to be in fear, in great fear, because he's going to come with judgment. It says, "And they shall see the Son of Man coming in the clouds of the heaven with power and great glory. And he shall send his angels with a great sound of a trumpet, and they shall gather together his elect from the four winds, from one end of the heaven to the other." So you're going to have the nations receiving judgment and running around scared, and then you have the elect being saved. So at the same time, the wicked, the ones that's not going to receive salvation, the heathens and the 2/3 of our own people, they're going to see the salvation. Lord's willing, I'm part of that number. They'll see our salvation, and we're going to see their judgment at the same time. All right, let's go to let's go to Revelations real quick. Revelations 12 and 10 says, "And I heard a loud voice saying in heaven, now is come salvation and strength and the kingdom of our power and the power of his anointed. For the accuser of our brethren is cast down, which accused them before our power day and night." All right, I'm going to read that again. It says, "And I heard a loud voice saying in heaven, now has come salvation and strength and the kingdom of our power and the power of his Hamashiach," or his anointed. It says, "For the accuser of our brethren is cast down, which accused them before our power day and night." So you got, let's go into Esau always accusing Jake, of doing something wicked or evil. All people do go off, but the stuff that Esau has done is just, can't even put words towards how wicked this man is. So he's going to pay for that. He's going to pay for all the wickedness that he's done throughout the earth. The whole time he's been on the earth, he's going to get this one judgment is going to take out all of that. And with that one judgment, and I'm talking about Esau Edom, which is the so-called white man today. With that judgment, he's going to receive he's going to be put in slavery for 1,000 years, and then completely destroyed off the planet at the end of that 1,000-year sentence. But seeing his kingdom, which is America, being destroyed, we're actually going to see that. Like I said, Lord's willing, we part of that number. We're going to see the judgment of the wicked. Let's go to Revelations 15. Let me see, did I finish that off? Okay. And then let's let you know who the Lord is, who the salvation is for. Verse 11 says, and they overcame him by the blood of the Lamb and by the word of their testimony, and they loved not their lives unto the death. So yeah, that's talking, man. All people are struggling. We hate this place. We really do. This current world, not even our people, but the righteous of our people. Because some of our people are just straight up indulged in all this wickedness. They take part of it. And they're going to take part in the judgment. All right, so while we looking like weirdos because we want to be separate from the world, we're going to be separate from that judgment as well. All right, Revelations 15 and 2, it says, and I saw as if it were a sea of glass mingled with fire, and them that had gotten the victory over the beast, and over his image, and over his mark, and over the number of his name, stand on the sea of glass, having harps of the Most High. All right, so let's go back through that, because the beast is NATO and the EU. The whore that sitteth on the beast is America. When you read Revelations 18 or Revelation 17. All right. So that's the beast. So these are the elect. They're going to receive victory over the beast, because this beast is going to be out to destroy Jake, destroy the righteous of Jake, the elect. But the Lord is not going to let that happen. And then it says over his image, meaning his likeness. It says, and over his mark, which is talking about the mark of the beast. Now, when you go back to Revelations 13 and read down on the end, that word mark is charagma. And it talks, and it goes into, pretty much goes into an implant. So that's going to be in the form of a microchip. So those that avoid that and get the victory over the beast, it says, and over the number of his name, that's at Hashat Phi Sigma. Slocky if I said that wrong. But that goes into the mark of the beast as well. Okay. So yeah, we're looking for salvation by dodging all of these things. And the Lord promised the salvation, and he also promised the prophecies. We see the prophecies coming to pass. So you don't think that the salvation is not going to happen? It's going to happen. For people that think that this book is a fairy tale book, these things that were written thousands of years ago are going on now. And they're going to be one of those ones that see the salvation of the elect while they left here to burn. The Lord said he was going to leave you here and melt you in the book of Ezekiel. And how is that going to happen? It's going to happen through thermonuclear missiles. All right. So when you look at this image, you see America is it's pretty much it's on fire. It's being hit with nukes, and everything is on fire. And that's that lake of fire that the scriptures goes into. It's going to be people left there, and that's what they call the second death. That's talking about America being destroyed. So yeah, once the Lord returns, it's going to be salvation and judgment going on at the same time. And when you go into Psalms 91, it talks about salvation. But then it says, I'm just going to read it. In Proverbs, I meant to go Psalms. Yeah, so this whole thing is talking about Jacob's trouble. I'm just going to read down. I'm going to start at verse 2. Psalms 91 and verse 2. It says, I will say of the Lord Yahweh, he is my refuge and my fortress, my power. In him will I trust. Surely he shall deliver thee from the snare of the fowler and from the noisome pestilence. It says, he shall cover thee with his feathers, and under his wings shalt thou trust. His truth shall be thy shield and buckler. So yeah, and this truth is what's going to save you. Knowing the name of the Lord, the name being Yahweh. All right. The name of the Savior being Yahweh Shai. Keeping the commandments to the best of your ability. When you go back to Revelations, what was that, 15? If you keep going down, it says they sung the song of Moses, meaning we keep the commandments to the best of our ability. In the high holy days. All right. But we also have grace because we can't keep the commandments perfectly. But the Lord see that we're rehearsing the righteous acts, keeping the high holy days, keeping the commandments the best way we can, measuring out when the Sabbath is, keeping the Sabbath the best way we can, which we still have to work on those days, so we can't do this thing perfect. That's why the Lord granted us grace and faith. But it says, thou shalt not be afraid of the terror by night, nor the arrow that flies by day. So it's going to be, it's going to be people getting down at night. It's going to be a lot of killing going on. A lot of missiles going off, bombs going off. That's the arrow that flies by day. It says, nor for the pestilence that walketh in darkness. So there's going to be diseases and things out here that's going to just skip over the elect. Just like I said, if the plagues are not slack, if these prophecies are actually coming to pass and everything is happening, what makes you think that the salvation is not going to be as great as the scriptures say? It says, nor for the destruction that wasteth at noonday, 1,000 shall fall at thy side, and 10,000 at thy right hand, but it shall not come nigh thee. Only with thy eyes shall thou behold and see the reward of the wicked. And we're going to see that. Like I said, over and over, Lord's willing, because we the hopeful elect, we hoping to be part of that number. All right, we're hoping to be one of these men looking down from that sea of glass, watching the judgment of the wicked, the reward of the wicked. All right. So that's pretty much what I wanted to go into. Just with the salvation, seeing the judgment of those that hate us. Oh, hold on. It's one I wanted to get in Revelations 11. I think it's around verse 16. No, that's not what I wanted to get. Hold on, let me go up a little bit. Okay, Revelations 11 and 12. This is what I wanted to get. It says, and they heard a great voice from heaven saying unto them, come up hither, And they ascended up to heaven in a cloud, which is a chariot, and their enemies beheld them. While the enemies are watching the salvation, like I said before, they're going to watch the salvation of the elect, and we're going to watch the judgment of the wicked. All right. It's going to happen at the same time. So that was pretty much it. I pray this lesson was edifying. Once again, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashim Yahweh Shai, Bahashim Rachakwadash. Double honors to my elders and apostles, a great millstone that taught us his truth. Shalom.